Hi, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. I'm really looking forward to making hypnosis tangible so that you can apply it yourself. Self-applied hypnosis techniques. Hypnosis is already happening in your subconscious. It's a story that your mind interacts with. And once you recognize that, you realize that you are in control of creating stories that are better for you, more fulfilling, more peaceful, more simple. The brain really, really likes complicating things, but the body just wants to be present in a story where you feel like you have everything that you need. You can still want other things, but you don't want to feel dependent on those things that are coming next for you. Now, when I first started studying hypnosis, I was really excited about how effective the techniques were, yet they're still very subtle and nearly elusive, like intangible, because there's not a one size fits all. There's not a one hypnosis script. It's really easier to think about hypnosis as an equation, a formula where your mind interacts through the body's state of being. So I'll invite you right now to just get present in your body because this workshop is meant to be interactive. You let me know what goals you have. What way could hypnosis show up for you? So to start, get out of the brain because that's the 10% of the mind. They say we use 10%, and here's 10%. Here's your other 90%. Bring your awareness into that other larger subconscious region of your experience. Take a few breaths, center yourself, let go of any comparison. Hypnosis is a word that a lot of people have opinions about, or they've seen stage shows for hypnosis. And so they're waiting for the hypnotist to use some specific magical technique or word that's going to trance someone into that unconscious. You're always present in your unconscious mind. It's more that conscious mind that dips in and out. And so I'm not speaking to your conscious mind, I'm speaking to your unconscious mind. Now, these self applied techniques, if you have specific goals that you want me to apply, you just let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to start with some basic formulas so that you know how to use this for yourself. And I want you to have those formulas for hypnosis so that you're not dependent on a therapist or a coach. You are your own hypnotist and you are your best hypnotist. And I will say that you already have been using hypnosis without even realizing that you could change your story right now. You don't have to wait until the body changes or the money changes or the relationships change. You don't have to wait for any of that stuff to feel good. So there's a technique that I call resource allocation. So you allocate in resources, you bring in that good feeling state. Now, don't only do this for the brain, do this for the whole body. What does feeling good feel like for you in this moment? Just experience it. Does feeling good feel lighter? Maybe you could be really, really present just in this moment, just in this exercise, just while I'm helping, to guide or teach you these techniques. Be present in your body. And as you're breathing, feel just a little bit lighter. Feel as light as you could. Maybe heaviness from inside your abdomen starts to just be placed to the side. Do that just so that you have more space in that abdomen to bring in what I've called a lighter feeling. If you let me know what goals you have, we can tailor this specifically to you because honestly, the details are so irrelevant. What is important is that you are experiencing your experience. Think about the way that the body interacts, colors, shapes, sounds, smells, textures. Bring in whatever is something you recognize as good. Maybe that means like fresh tasting air. Maybe it's warm vanilla or cinnamon. It's, again, not anything you mentally need to be hung up on physically. Just enrich that experience because you've already told your mind that these resources are more of that good category. And good for a lot of people could mean happiness or confidence, peacefulness. It's amazing that when you get into the mind and you make these changes with your imagination, that the body begins to change. The literal physical chemistry of your body changes. You are self medicating. Okay. You can change not only the story, but your physical reality, the experience that you are in at this moment and in every moment. But these changes are the way that you've been doing your own sort of alchemy or neuroplasticity. So let's self direct, self apply these techniques. Don't worry about creating the techniques. Use these formulas that I've been using for 10 plus years with 1,000 plus people to help them change any number of stories, any literally any sort of, if you are in a really low, desperate place, or if you are doing amazing and you just want to tweak a little bit more to get into that even higher top achiever state. Hypnosis is a process that we don't need to feel like other people do to us. You can do this for yourself. So if you want to interact, go to hallhypnosis.com, click on the live event, sign up, join me in Zoom. Also on Hall Hypnosis, you can access the self-applied hypnosis techniques because I want you to have these techniques. I want you to have lifetime access. I've compiled them in the fullest and simplest way so that they feel tangible, so that you make these the techniques that you need for any changes that you want in life. You can actually even use hypnosis techniques for physical pain and physical change. Physical change, like asthma and allergies, skin conditions. You can actually use hypnosis to change your weight, to change the density of your hair, to help your eyes, healing eyesight. The case studies and the history for hypnosis are so actually validated through science. And yet we still don't understand hypnosis. And this is where hypnosis usually gets put on the back shelf, or at the very least, people feel hypnosis as something someone else will have to do to them. Now, society hypnotizes us, our peers hypnotize us. We are unconsciously hypnotizing ourselves. We don't use hypnosis for any negative effect because actually the subconscious will not take negative suggestions for hypnosis. But what can happen is our suggestions can distance us and say that the reward is coming later. So, another technique is timeline. You can just imagine a line underneath you or in front of you. Maybe in front of you is the future, behind you is the past. Really close your eyes if that helps you to experience it, because it's not about thinking it, it's about feeling it or seeing it or just sort of knowing that it's there. And now that it's there, that resource, which we could, say is this timeline, now you can interact with it. You could use self hypnosis to experience yourself moving forward. Maybe you want to imagine being forward throughout this day. And later in this day, you would like to feel more exuberant, more happy, more powerful. Maybe you want to feel more peaceful, more relaxed. Do you hear how those words just have very little relevance? It's so much little. It's 10% about what the mind is saying. What does peaceful even mean? That's just an idea. Think about peaceful as a color because you will have a specific orientation to a color that means peacefulness for you in this moment. And there's no judgment or comparison. You might say blue. A lot of times I'll hear blue when I ask people about their peaceful color, but maybe your blue is more teal. Maybe it's so soft, it's almost translucent. It's so much more about you experiencing that resource, that peacefulness, your blue, and maybe you could notice your timeline and you could go further forward on your timeline and then more and more intensity, gentle intensity or palpable intensity. It's your preference of that blue is just it's waiting for you. It can't wait to just hug you. It loves you. It's enveloping you. It's like a medicine for you. It's just it's moving in through your skin. Maybe that tickles a little bit. Maybe you feel it tingling. This is literally, it's not only healing to the mind, okay, and an exercise for your thoughts. A lot of times I'll hear people talk about hypnosis and meditation, or let me say the number one thing that I hear people talk about for hypnosis is that they think here we are now, and then here you need to be in that hypnosis state. But instead, this is maybe lively awakeness in your conscious mind, and here you are asleep in that conscious analytical mind. And hypnosis is just always happening because hypnosis is a story that you are getting suggestions to experience. So you can resist hypnosis. People ask all the time, can I really be hypnotized? Can everyone be hypnotized? You already are hypnotized. So in the change that I'm doing to support people, I'm really dehypnotizing them. And that's why when you have these techniques, you can use hypnosis to change anything. And this means to rewrite any limitations. Any even unconscious limited beliefs can be rewritten using hypnosis. Now, Tony Robbins or anyone using NLP, neuro linguistic programming, might understand a little bit what I'm talking about, where you can use the power of words or thoughts or structures to make and feel and get that lasting change. So, a popular technique because NLP was branched out of hypnosis. Hypnosis has been around for thousands of years. So many other techniques really are just hypnosis that's been rebranded. So, hypnosis, you knowing how to use these equations is going to free you from being dependent on anyone else doing this for you. So, popular NLP technique is called the Swish pattern, or we could think about it like a swap. And so you have two things that you would like to change. Let's think about this as the solution state. And here's our problem state, because you can recognize that most of us likely feel like our problem is here and our solution is there. Our solution is something that's going to come to us after we figure out or solve or change this problem. Well, you see how we're not motivated towards pain, right? Have you heard that? We're motivated towards pleasure, but away from pain. So even though I want to be motivated towards this pleasure, if my conscious mind is thinking about my pleasure coming after my pain, I can't have my fit body until I endure hours of the gym, which I hate, or I can never have some sort of decadent food like chocolate, which I love. Then I might be resisting moving towards my pleasure because it's too painful to go towards that pain. So in this process for NLP, you swap those. You imagine pushing that pain far and far away. You just imagine it. You just change the alchemy in your body through the power of having this imagination, this intelligence, this literal freedom. No one controls your thoughts. You are that last line of who is going to hypnotize you, which is why it is so important for me that you be hypnotizing yourself, or, of course, dehypnotizing anything that's not working for you. Welcome. Now, if you go to hallhypnosis.com, you can come into the live event. We can interact. I can talk specifically about any goals for you. I really want you to have these techniques of hypnosis so that you can bring in resources, so that you can use a timeline to experience that story changed now. You can use NLP techniques. You can switch what it is that is the pleasurable state and just push all the pain away. A lot of times people will come and they'll say, oh, I want to get rid of this. I want to stop doing that. I never want to feel this way. And they're wanting to subtract. Well, what do we learn first in school is addition. So why don't we add in what you want? Because if you are so focused on what it is you don't want, you've almost become unclear about what you do want, because What you want is just not having this problem. It's like me going to a cab, getting in a taxi, and telling them, I don't want to go to the airport. I'm not going to the airport. Do not take me to the airport. Is the only thing they've heard. And that's where I'm headed for sure, the airport. So the same thing is true with your body. You're only experiencing one feeling at a time. And if you are focused on the problem, you are experiencing a reality. And where there is a problem, you've hypnotized yourself that you have some problem that you should fix so that later you can get the solution. I just want you guys to have the solutions right now. I just want us all, literally every, living being to feel that all of the resources that they want. Do you want to be lighter? Do you want to feel peace and warm? Do you want to have that experience of contentment? Well, we need to clarify what contentment is for you. And then after you get it clarified in a language that your body can understand, then you can use a story, and it doesn't have to be a conscious story. Once you are clear and focused on how you want to feel, your subconscious will begin to notice and recognize that feeling. It'll begin to draw you in an autopilot type way towards that feeling. Okay, this is not a power of placebo, and this is not a openness or willingness to believe in metaphysical things. This is a science, and these are techniques. Hallhypnosis.com. You can come and join me live. We can interact, or you can go there and check out this product because I want you to have lifetime access to the self applied hypnosis techniques. This is modern day hypnosis. You are not dependent on another person hypnotizing you. You can use other things to hypnotize you. I mean, in the program, I have a done for you. I do trance talk where you can just experience these equations while you rest. And then you can understand how simple it is to make a change, a lasting change, not only for yourself. If you want to use these techniques on other people, that's perfect. I'll actually expect when you're in this product and you recognize how that art of storytelling and how the reality of what is it that we're experiencing, you've already been doing this. And now you can do this with just more finesse so that you get to experience all of the reality of what I'll call your solutions because they're individual for you. Another person trying to apply them to you may get it in the general ballpark, but is that entirely what you want? I want you to have what you want. I want you to have what you want so bad that I've got coupons. So these aren't on the site, but if you go to the site, you can use these coupons. 40% off, 20% off. Use either one because you know that it's not about the cost. You know that it's about you actually applying these techniques because so many of us are just really amazed. Wow, we have this mind. Wow, we have this life. Wow, we have goals. Don't be always only here. Instead, remember the rest of the thing that is experiencing the story. So apply these techniques. They're very fast. They're surprisingly effective. They're almost so effective and subtle that you kind of think, well, where was the change? Where was that time? I no longer have this phobia, this thing that has been haunting me. I haven't been able to fly with my family because I'm terrified of airplanes. I'm claustrophobic. I've got all of these sort of anxieties, and now I don't. I mean, it really is literally as mind and life changing as that. Now, again, you don't need to believe it, okay? You could be any type of logical thinker. Let me tell you about a student, Len, who is super logical thinking. He's quite analytical, which is brilliant because he really took the time to study that history about hypnotism and to read about hypnotism and to recognize hypnotism as a true science. It's time tested, thousands of years. I mean, it's completely, absolutely validated. We still don't understand how hypnosis is working because the mind isn't understanding the mind. But once you understand these techniques, like Len, he not only got changes in his life, but it changed his life so quickly. And he actually used hypnosis then later for other things which he hadn't even considered because it wasn't the initial goal that drew him to hypnosis. So after hypnosis helped him with things that he needed, and then helped him with extra things that he just thought were fun and that he wanted, he studied hypnosis and is now using hypnosis with several people every week. Every single week, he's changing people's stories. Now, years ago, hypnosis would have not been a word that this person ever even gave a second glance to, but he needed change. And he tried the conventional route, and it wasn't helping him. And a lot of people find their way to hypnosis as the last resort. And I'll say it is truly a last resort because after the hypnosis, you won't need more resorts, okay? Hypnosis is just something that really, really does safely and effectively work. You don't have to believe it. Lynn certainly didn't believe in it. And I want you to understand that it is actually very simple for you to apply these techniques because you already have been doing them. Learn how to do them better. Go to Hall Hypnosis or let me know right here on this call what it is that we could use hypnosis for. Also, go on Amazon and check out my book, The Brilliance of Imagination. I have some techniques in that book, and it's a short read so that you can understand all of what I'm trying to say, which is a very, very simple thing. And that simple thing is that you are in control. There is no one else that is in control of your mind. And so if your life is not satisfying you to the fullest potential of what you desire, then please wake yourself up from any trance. Okay. Hypnosis doesn't need to be thought of a time of going into trance. Modern day hypnosis, let's wake you up from a story that has limited you. Let's all wake up and recognize the reality that this thing, this comparative analytical thing, is a positive tool to help us experience more of what we want, not to creatively come up with more problems, which is what a lot of people's brains are doing. And why do brains do that? Because brains like to fix problems. So, what if we used our brain to instead help us create an even better reality? We have to start with that baseline that our reality is good. Now, if you feel underneath a baseline, and maybe you have very accurate stories about a past that is something you're carrying now, because you only feel one way at a time, I'll tell you that your body has become adapted to feeling that way, which actually means that you can shift the experience, even physical, literal, chronic pain, physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, anything chronic, anything super literally really intense can be shifted. Okay. You don't have to believe me. Hypnosis, there's case studies. If you come to Hall Hypnosis, if you go through the product, I have shared the history and more accredited organizations so that you can recognize hypnotism has been a thing for a really long time and it's standing that test of time because it really, really does work. And so I want you to understand how to do this for yourself. Now, you might be here because you're open minded to these sorts of things. Maybe already you are doing some experiences with hypnotists or on YouTube for hypnosis or any sort of affirmative or NLP, any mind coaching. But do you hear how I'm saying that the mind is such a small space of where to apply the hypnosis? When you apply it to the whole reality, to your whole context of where you are now, this is how you shift things in a way that almost feels surreal. And sometimes that feeling isn't even something that we can observe because you don't get to remember what it was like. Meaning, say you have fears of driving over bridges. Well, you change the brain to feel safe, confident, at peace, driving over bridges. And now you are just driving over bridges. It's not like you pause at every bridge and have to count to free, and then after you cross it, you have this sense of celebration because that wasn't what your goal was. Your goal was just that you felt good. So while you're feeling good, you're just driving over bridges. And you may notice that starts trickling out into other areas of your life. So hypnosis really can change in so many different ways. And let me say too that it took me a while of studying hypnosis to organize what I have for you so that you can use it in this really accessible way. So I had another student, Anna, who was already open to all of this. She had worked with hypnotists. She was an NLP coach, but she felt in her life like she was stuck in certain ways. In some ways, she was thriving, but she had some old stories, some beliefs that she had just resided to feel that these will always be that way. I've got all of this good going for me, but I've got this little bit of heaviness. I've got this little bit of health going on. I've got this little bit of mental story that I just can't seem to get things right. We made this change for her. We used hypnosis in a modern application to help her free herself and to help her get present. That in this now space of reality, there always are resources, but you have to take advantage of them. If you just sit back passively, they can be good, they can help you. But if you've got something that you are unconsciously resisting, then let's get into that unconscious and let's change the story. Self apply these hypnosis techniques. These are ancient techniques, these are master keys for you. Go to hallhypnosis.com. Now, I want to do an experience for you for hypnosis. I want you to tell me what your goals are. And I want you to tell me, does hypnosis feel now like it's something that is more tangible to you? Because this hypnosis story that you've been telling yourself, you can make this change. All right, we're going to go into an experience in just a little bit. And if you go to hallhypnosis.com, you'll see that the self-applied hypnosis techniques are $9.97. But again, you've got payments. You have 3-month payments for $345. You have 6 months payments for $185. And you can still use the 40% off or the 20% off coupons. 40OFF for 40% off. And this is lifetime access. And in this course, I'm doing it for you so that you can experience hypnosis audios. You can experience trance talk to take in those lessons while you are resting. I've created demonstration videos so that you can understand those techniques of eye movement, of rapid hand drop induction. You can use hypnosis on others. You can use hypnosis on yourself. You can make hypnosis audios. I've given you scripts. You could record your own audios and you understand the equations that go into those scripts so that you are not script dependent. You are not technique dependent because the way I've organized these techniques is so that you truly understand the equation. And it is not the equation that is solely for the mind. I've included those too. I've included those in a simple way so that you understand, regardless if you are working someone who is more oriented into their mind, because some people are maybe blocked. They're very disconnected from their body. And that might be you. Lynn was disconnected from his body. You don't have to be connected. You are unconsciously. In some way, there's some connection going on. So whatever mind that you have that you are using, there are techniques in there and you will understand the equations of these techniques so that you can create your own recipe for using these techniques in your life and in the lives of other people who you may support. So this technique that I want to do for you now, we're just going to combine all of that, allocating in resources, swishing out problems, and experiencing a timeline so that as you are right now, regardless of anything heavy or entangled from the past, and also completely open for massive, grand things that may even at the moment seem or feel out of reach for you. I want you to experience this presently. So do what you can to get yourself comfortable. See if you can step away from any distractions. If you're in a vehicle, please don't follow along. I absolutely don't want you to close your eyes if you're driving, obviously. So, anywhere else that you are other than driving, now would be the time, if you haven't already, to go ahead and rest those eyes. Close your mind, or imagine that the mind starts opening. Either is fine. You are in control, you are safe. You can let go of expectations. And you're doing this perfectly. Let go of any pressures, no responsibilities for you to be thinking. You can just feel good. What does that mean for you? As you take a few breaths fully into your body, maybe your chest starts to stretch and those shoulders sink back and down, your spine elongates, your chin. Notice your chin just gently. You could begin to lower the chin or lift the chin or just feel it stretch softly forward, whatever feels comfortable. I want you to start relaxing. Your body naturally knows how to relax. Don't try hard. Relax all the efforts. Just breathe, and every time you release, experience the body letting go, just softer and softer. Maybe as you breathe those full, slow, rhythmic breaths, you notice the body's space stretching big, and that starts to squeeze any tension out of the muscles, and you just breathe and let go, and the bones start to sink. Take this time for yourself. You deserve this. Even as a result of participating and being aware, even unconsciously aware of all of what I've been saying, know that your brain is learning, your brain is changing. Imagine your heart smiling, feeling so happy that you've taken this time for yourself, feeling so proud of yourself and excited as you have helped yourself, feeling so good. I wonder if you could intensify the feeling twice as much, that good, peaceful, and safe, happy feeling. And now I want you to picture or just imagine or pretend colors. Beautiful, healing colors, healthy colors, feel good colors. Imagine they start to bellow into the room, and gently they're moving through you. Maybe they're moving in through the bottom of your legs, or breathing it in through the skin, through the eyelids and the ears and the scalp now. And as those colors move into your body and you are breathing out naturally, rhythmically from the body, you're breathing out anything that you no longer need, anything that's unuseful. These could be past events. These could be energies or emotions in the present. Whatever is in your life. These could be arguments from your mind, disagreements with loved ones. You can release fears, release anger, sadness. In fact, as you take in more and more color, I want this to feel like love. Soften any space in your body that's holding tension. so that you can feel wonderful. In this moment, allow that to tingle into your body, or if you feel numbness or nothing, no problem. Just what you are feeling and seeing and hearing. Can you connect to that rhythm or pounding of the inner heart? As you start to breathe, perhaps into the heart, see if that rhythm of your heart can start to reverberate through you, rippling out even around you, soothing all of the cells in your body and intensifying this healthy, wonderful feeling. Now, these ripples are going to not only push out even further all negativities, even things that you aren't even consciously aware of, as those may be other people's emotions. Your heart's frequency is starting, and you can imagine seeing this moving out through the future, cleaning and healing things, making everything as you would like it, lighter, brighter, more glistening beautifully with health and love. And even out back behind you, just picture it. Maybe hear through the vibrations of my voice, this sound, and all the sounds around you, even distractions now. Sounds are vibrations, and that can just ripple into that heart's frequency. And as you start to see yourself in the center, remember that these waves can go out even after today, even after this time together, out in that timeline of your life, out into the future, further back in the past, even beyond that life you are living, through other lives. And as you might like, and respectfully, into other people's energy, just the invitation of you all shedding your individual essence of love as you are giving unconditionally. Know that also you are receiving. You are receiving that energy that I've titled as colors, or you might kinesthetically feel it like little bitty waves, or you could even picture today, I like to imagine tiny little hugs around all of the cells in my body, every one of the cells in my body just getting a fresh squeeze. So loving, so well. Now keep reveling in that feel good state. Take this state away with you. It's a gift for you. I want to give things to you. I want to give you these techniques for you to do on your own. I want you to empower your life, not just the mind, the body and the energy and that frequency that you, as a heart conscious being. So if you can imagine that I've given you a key and you will keep this key forever. And my self-applied hypnosis techniques is another myriad of other keys and tools so that you become like a blacksmith and you can ornate your key better. You could make even new keys for yourself. You can help to shape keys for others. Understanding and owning the techniques of hypnosis can change your life. I see it every day. It changes the way that you are in this story. These techniques are so fast and so safe. They're so powerful. Now, I appreciate all of you who've participated, all of you who've commented. I really, really want you to have the techniques, and they're at wholehypnosis.com, and I'm giving you coupons for 40%, 40OFF, 40% off, or 20% off, because it's not about the price. You could make the payments. You could pay for 6 months at 40% off. You will own all the entire myriad of the self-applied hypnosis techniques from Hall Hypnosis, and you can make changes not only to your life, but to other people's lives, but it's about you doing it. It's about you going there and getting it. And this is why I'm doing these workshops, so that you can experience this live, so that you can interact with me through Zoom, so that I can attach these specifically to your goals. And I thank you all so much for joining me today. And I'm Lauren Hall, Modern Day Hypnosis. Go to Hall Hypnosis. You can check out my book from Amazon, The Brilliance of Imagination, and you can get the self applied hypnosis techniques. I'm also a hypnosis trainer. So if you would like to go on further to become certified and professionally apply hypnotism, modern day hypnosis is giving you everything in a compiled way, so that you understand the equation. And then you can recognize where all of the different titlings or processes for techniques are still rooted in that core philosophy of what I'm calling hypnosis. Thank you again so, so much for being here. Talk soon.